Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Rafi, and today I'm going to talk about fragrances because that's what I talk about most of the time. And if you stumbled on this channel by accident, wait. Okay, you can go now. No, I'm kidding. If you like fragrances and fragrance talk and guys doing funny things with their fingers like this, then subscribe. But don't subscribe yet because you don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm talking about these discontinued fragrances today. I don't know, maybe I'll touch on some deep-seated psychological things about how things get discontinued and become more valuable when they're scarce, or something like that. Okay, so I've got a lot of fragrances. Surprise! If you didn't know, I have more than 10. And sometimes I have trouble finding a place to keep them. And as you can see from my background, I don't have like a thing. If you've watched any of my videos, there's only a few videos that I've done where I've actually shown like some fragrances in the background of my video. And that's because I don't actually have a place that I put them. I usually just store them in their boxes. Of the ones that I have boxes for, I store them in the boxes because they're easier to stack, and I store them away in like closets, wardrobes, something like that. And so they're trapped in the closet, and because they're out of sight, and like of course they pile up on my desk and all over the joint, but the ones that are like deep and hidden away, they're out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. And I do like them and I want to wear them, but I totally forget about them with the number of fragrances that I've actually got. I'm gonna wait for the garbage truck. That's the garbage truck coming to collect the garbage. They were supposed to be here 7 hours ago. They weren't because they're lazy. Maybe not. Maybe they're just busy. I don't know. Maybe they're busy. Look at me. Hello. I'm a fragrance reviewing guy. Keep going. 3 minutes 45 and counting. Get out of my street. Yeah, but subscribe to my video first. Jesus, that's bad. Edit in post. Garbage truck will be edited out in post. Come on, garbage truck. You left garbage all over the street? Frickin' hope not. Frickin' hope not, mate. Alright, mate. What name? What name you? What name you? Now that we've spent 2 minutes waiting for the garbage truck to leave, go away. But collect my garbage first. Thank you. Where was I? I totally got interrupted by the garbage truck of doom that came up and down my street. Anyway, these fragrances that I've got that are deep in the caverns of somewhere in some wardrobe, somewhere in this house, and I also keep some in my parents' house. That's weird, isn't it? And I don't get to see them, so they're out of sight, out of mind, and I thought, oh shit, I've got some of these things that I don't reach for, and maybe some of the ones that I don't like, maybe because I don't like them, I don't really remember them and reach for them. That's fine. They're good fragrances. Maybe someone else will enjoy it. I wanted to go get them and to sell them. I wanted to see what they're worth so that I can give them a fair price. And I realized that there's a whole bunch since I bought them that have been discontinued. And I've noticed the price going ridiculous, as these things usually go for. They get a bit nuts. So I want to talk about a few fragrances that I didn't realize had been discontinued. Did you realize that they'd been discontinued? I bet you didn't. I bet you didn't. And the first of which is this one here, which is called Stash. Stash by the horse face lady herself. I gotta wipe the dust off these guys. Sarah Jessica Parker Stash. It's not short for mustache. It's actually a play on the Prohibition era whiskey. So liquor production in the Prohibition era. It smells like liquor and woods and toasted coconut shells and things like, and warm, lovely things like that. It's even stashed away in this sort of pouch like this with nice, lovely presentation there. And the presentation is actually pretty good because you've got the little choker on the bottle here. See the choker? It's got a nice whiskey color. It looks like whiskey. It doesn't smell like whiskey. It does smell like a liquor, like a brandy rum kind of thing going on with elements of like a toasted smoky, coconutty shell kind of thing going on as well. I really like it. I do like it. I just don't reach for it as often as I should. It's actually got really good longevity and performance on me. And I think that it will be a great fragrance for both men and women, because this was out for women. When I smelled it, I'm like, that's a tough wear for a woman. A man should really be wearing something like this.
Put it back in its box because I like it in its box.
So that's the first one that's been discontinued that I realized, because I looked at it and I couldn't find it in the, you know, the pharmacies and stuff where I usually go and look for these things, and it wasn't there anymore, and it got discontinued. And of course the prices on the grey market, also known as eBay, have started to creep up as well. It's a decent fragrance, but it's not one that I reach for all the time. So anyway, that's been discontinued. The next one, which I totally didn't realize had been discontinued and has actually skyrocketed in price, is another cheapie. It's this one right here. This is Uomo by Zegna. Yeah, Ermenegildo. Zegna. I don't know. I said it properly once, and I shall never say it properly ever again. I'm like a reverse learning robot. I'm like reverse AI. I knew everything. Now I've just messed it up, and I'll continue to mess it up more and more as I go on. And the bottle looks like this with its lovely striations. I really do like this bottle, and I did a really nice video of the first impressions of this, which you should watch. If you were subscribed to my channel, you would have seen it, and you should watch it again, because it was pretty damn good. I put effort into that one. I do like this. It's a citrus with a violet heart. Violet, right? So it's like a more floral version. It's like a more citric version of something like Fahrenheit or Aqua Fahrenheit. This one is. That one's ginger. This one is like bergamot in the opening, with some violet, and it's very pleasant. Longevity is middle of the road, and projection is middle of the road, and they did change bottles as well. So this came out a number of years back, and it did have like a midlife refresh where they changed the bottle to be more like a smooth, almost egg-looking shape with a black cap. This is the original bottle itself. This has been discontinued, and I've seen morons trying to sell it, and yes, you're a moron, trying to sell it for like $200 plus, when it was like a cheap $40 fragrance, like a drugstore sort of fragrance. This is like a drugstore fragrance. Oh, Freudian slip. And I don't know why. Like, it's a good fragrance, but $200? You're kidding me, man. Okay, next up we've got something that was discontinued, then got brought back, and then has been discontinued again. And the one I'm talking about is Havana by Aramis, which apparently sucks. Aramis Havana sucks. It's, I'm calling it Aramis Havana SUX now. Thanks a lot, man. So this one, again, it's that wet tobacco kind of fragrance. There's a bit of a story with this one, because this was the only one that I know of that was a community-driven reformulation. It's a fantastic story, because the original Havana, which I do have a bottle of as well, that's why I'm like, well, I've got a bottle of the original. I don't need this. They smell identical, and I don't need another one. And I only use that for reference to memory, because that's what I was wearing in like the mid to late 90s. I was wearing Havana, and I have great memories clubbing with it. I use it as a clubbing scent. Not like clubbing, like, clubbing baby seals or something like this. Clubbing is in night clubbing, going out, to places with loud music and cigarette smoke and BO and women scantily clad. This one, the original, it did get discontinued, and people were like, no, and the internet was a thing at the time, and so people banded together and they did a petition, and they wrote to whoever the hell it was that produces this shit, Aramis, I guess, and they brought it back, but they brought all of their classics back at the same time in the Gentleman's Collection, which is like the different bottle. These sort of style bottles and these boxes, they brought back like New West, and I think JHL came back, and Devon came back, and Tuscany came back as well, and Havana as well. And everyone was happy because the reformulations were done very well, and the reformulations were done very well, except maybe for Tuscany, which was a little bit noticeable, but still Tuscany is a fantastic fragrance, even in the Gentleman's Collection. Now, these have been discontinued. This has been discontinued. I think the entire Gentleman's Collection line has been discontinued, but nobody really cares about most of them. Like, no one really cares about New West being discontinued. Yeah, New West can get discontinued. That's fine. Devon can get discontinued. That's fine. Havana's been discontinued, and that's gone up in price. Tuscany's been discontinued, and that's gone up in price as well. So there you have it, Havana. If you do find it, I mean, there was still tons of them. They were still super cheap. There's a lot of people that were like, bought it, and they don't know what's going on with it. So you could actually grab it. It's actually a really nice scent. I still really like this one. Still really like this one. It's got like a really nice sort of tobacco, weird tobacco vomit. Yeah, I'll stick with that. Now the next one, I think I've mentioned it before, but I can't be bothered going to go and dig that out of where the depths of where it is. And I'm not getting rid of this one, but I'm just mentioning it to people that actually don't know that this has been discontinued. And so I'll put a picture of the bottle and the box and what it looks like for your reference. But it is Gucci's Guilty Absolute Pour Homme, and that's been discontinued. And it's no surprise that that's been discontinued, because you either hated that fragrance or you loved that fragrance. And then I thought this is going to be one of those ones where once it gets discontinued, people will be like not noticing for a while, and then the supply will start to run out in all the discounters and all the places, and then it's going to absolutely, like, you'll be, if you have like a stash of these, that's a house deposit. That's a down payment. That's what it is. This fragrance is going to go probably gangbusters in price. So if you're a businessman, then you will invest. This is not financial advice by any means, because I've only got one bottle, and that's the one that I use. And I'm like 20 mils into a 90 mil bottle. And I think that's enough for me for a lifetime. It's just so potent. It's just so strong. It's like that leather factory, chemical leather factory kind of thing going on. It's unforgiving, it's harsh, it's beautiful, beautiful as a fragrance, and I love wearing it, but it's been discontinued, and I didn't realize that until I had a look at the price. I'm like, wow, it's like it's more expensive. I bought it from our local sort of chemist warehouse that we have, which sells a lot of fragrances, and the 90 ml bottle was $90. Now that same 90 ml bottle, which they have a stack of, they're selling for $150. Now, I don't think that's inflation, probably because it's running out and the price of these things is going up. Next on the list is not really a discontinuation as such, but it's kind of a discontinuation. As far as I'm concerned, it's a freaking discontinuation. That is Givenchy's Xeryus Rouge, a legendary fragrance in my book, because I've been through like maybe 3-4 bottles of this from like the mid 90s onwards. I had the original, which was in an original Art Deco bottle, and then I got another one, and I took another one overseas, and then I bought, and my girlfriend at the time bought me another bottle when we were overseas, which I finished here, and then I bought another one a few years ago. And this lovely scent is, again, I'll say it again, this is the scent that I was wearing when I met my wife, and she loves this fragrance. I love this fragrance too. It's so unique with that sort of cactus and pimento forwardness of it, and the opening might be harsh, but then the mids and the dry down is just magic. I absolutely love it. And the redness of it actually smells red. That's what it smells like. It smells like the color red. It's been reformulated, which is really weird. This is what Givenchy have done. If you go to their website, you'll see that Xeryus Rouge is still for sale. But it's in a completely different bottle. It's in a clear bottle. And if you read the notes, the note breakdown, it's totally different notes. So I'm assuming it's a completely different fragrance. It smells completely different. It's probably been modernized to suit sort of young modern tastes. And they've kept the name. They've kept the name the exact same. So someone who goes to the Givenchy websites and buys Xeryus Rouge is going to get a completely different fragrance to what this actually smells like. So they've basically killed it. So the next one's like a 2-for-1 kind of thing that have been discontinued. This is like the Cinema line by Yves Saint Laurent. These have been discontinued as well. This is the Eau de Toilette, which I was actually planning to buy the Eau de Parfum, and I bought the Eau de Toilette by accident, and I used a fair bit of it. Lovely, this one, but it's just not as good. It's just not as good as the Eau de Parfum, which is this one here. And my God, it's very feminine. You need a special set of as a man to be able to wear this and pull it off confidently. Wouldn't recommend it to everybody. Super popular fragrance throughout the years. and I could see why. It's been discontinued. It's gone. And if the prices online are anything to go by, then you should try and secure one of these before they get ridiculously out of reach. So some of the things like the Gucci Guilty Absolute, they weren't really that popular. So when it gets discontinued, there's really not that many people that are really, really hankering for Gucci Guilty Absolute. But then there might be a small sort of niche proportion of people that really must have it because it's their signature scent that they absolutely love. So they will pay, but you have a smaller audience and they will pay. But then things like this, which sold probably by the truckload throughout the years, many people will have. So you'll have a better chance of probably getting a good price for it if you are looking in the grey market. But if you're selling it, you also have a ton more people to compete who would actually want to buy this fragrance. So, and the next one is Hugo Boss, the scent Private Accord. I, again, couldn't be bothered getting that out of the depths of where it is over there somewhere. And so I'll just put a picture of it probably on the screen, like a magic thing, like that. And that's been discontinued as well. It's a very good Maninka and cacao sort of combination. Shows you feel warm and sort of almost fruity, nutty warmth kind of coming out of it. It's a fantastic scent. It's a really good scent. I don't think I'll ever run out of it. I'm not selling it because I like that scent. I don't think I'll ever run out of it. I got a big 200ml bottle of that one for ridiculously cheap. And now the 100ml bottles of that are going for more than what I bought my 200ml bottle for. And I bought that bottle at retail. And that indicates to me that this shit is long gone. And so I think maybe that whole The Scent line is actually gone. That was an okay line, but my favorite out of all of those lineups was the Private Accord one. And that's why I got myself a big bottle of it. So that one's gone too. The next one that's been discontinued that I'm sure of has been discontinued is by Amouage. It is this one here. It's called Fate Man. Fate Man, and probably the Fate Woman as well. Fate, and I think they've discontinued a whole bunch. They discontinue stuff regularly. And I can see why, apart from that noise, I can see why it's been discontinued, because it makes that noise. Is it fate for you to make that noise? I don't know. Why am I talking to the bottle? This is what the bottle looks like. It's probably got like Fate written on the collar or underneath or somewhere. No, it actually doesn't. It's got it written on the side. Sorry. This one's written on the side. Yeah, like this. You see this? Do you see? Can you read? Okay. This, I can see why this wasn't so popular. It smells like cumin. Someone who I really admire and respect said to me, it smells like curry. And I went, yeah, you have a point, but I like curry. Maybe not like super curry. There was another fragrance called Ganymede, which to me, I smelled like curry. And it was like, it wasn't fresh curry cooking. It smelled like curry that you left on the plate for hours and then came back into the room, and that's what it smelled like stale, gone cold curry on a plate. This one is cumin spice, and cumin being the brotherly spice of Putin. No, cumin being a very aromatic sort of thing. It really hits you. It really does hit you in the face with cumin for about 10 to 15 minutes, but then it just dies down and becomes like a really lovely spicy scent, and it's very spicy indeed. And I like it. I really like it. I got it at a freaking steal, this particular. I didn't steal it. I paid money for it, but it was a freaking steal. So I couldn't say no. Blind bought it, and luckily I like it. Either that or I've done some crazy cognitive gymnastics to convince myself that I like the cumin blast. I do like cumin. I mean, I like hummus. So hummus. I'm a hummus lover. Does that make me a hummus sexual? I don't know. But I do like this one a lot, and I will continue to wear this one whenever the hell I want, because it's my fragrance. And if I didn't mention it at the start of the video, I've got a bunch of fragrances that have been discontinued, and one that everybody thinks has been discontinued but hasn't been discontinued. And the one that I'm talking about isn't exactly this one, but it is in this lineup. It is M7. And this is M7 Oud Absolu. All right? But I'm showing you this one because the one that came out after this has a very similar looking box, has a very similar looking bottle, except the black bit is clear glass. And instead of saying M7 Oud Absolu, it just says M7, right? That is still available at many discounters and many online resellers and things like that. And it's there at a reasonable price. So people think that it's been discontinued, but there's people that are reviewing this fragrance with 2021 batch codes, which sort of means to me that they are doing additional runs of these as they go along. It probably won't be the same as this, which isn't the same as the original M7, which I have somewhere as well. I just thought I needed to mention that before someone comments going, oh, the original, do you have that one? Yeah, I do. And so, lovely. I like this one. It is different to the original. My favorite, as if you don't know, is the M7 Fresh, which I also have, just in case you're going to comment on that too. This has not been discontinued. You can find it, maybe not the Oud Absolu, but you can find the M7. Scour the internet and you will see. It was about $150 delivered to Australia from another country. I'm not promoting anybody's website because no one's paying me to do so. And so there you have it. That's the thing I wanted to talk about today, is these discontinued fragrances that you think were discontinued. Did I get into any psychology of things that have been discontinued? I usually call the if you look at Fragrantica for any discontinued fragrance, and from the point where people realize it's been discontinued, and you read them and the tone of those, and if you sort of like put it through a language processing sort of system, it will give you a tone. And I like to call these online eulogies, because the thing is dead and everyone's praising it. Because you don't talk shit about someone who died, right? You don't go to someone's funeral and say, this guy was a
lovely person.
You don't say stuff like that. Yeah, he was an acquired taste, but he had his style. That's what you usually say. You try to be nice to people when they're dead. Maybe you should be nice to people when they're alive. That would be much better, I think. And so before we all get discontinued, maybe we should start treating each other like we have been discontinued, or we're about to get discontinued, or we're about to be more valuable because we're scarce, or something like that. I don't know what moral you're going to take from this story. Take whatever you can. And that's it. Thanks for watching.